that will blow your mind. See the cosmic culture to say about this and check this out.
Spoilers ahead for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture, the channel where we talk all things major movie and television news, theories, breakdowns, and much, much more. I'm your host, Chris, and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is now out. Very likely you have seen it by now or will be seeing it soon and aren't too worried about spoilers because we're diving right into them starting now. So, what happens to Kang? Kang the Conqueror, the driving force of evil in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, revealed a lot of new updates and details for the multiverse saga, including some of his technology. We're going to be diving into what exactly happened to that Kang and where is he? If you haven't already, consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the other major movie and television news, updates, theories happening daily here on the channel. You can also follow me on my other socials, Instagram at Chris M. Roster and Twitter at TheCultureChris. Links to both of those can be found in the description down below. Now, I want to give credit to this theory. It comes from Twitter user Conqueror Comics, who goes into a really cool little thread, and I felt like it was necessary to talk about it on the channel. So, he says, what happened to Kang at the end of Quantumania, and where we might see him next? My theory, a thread. Kang's army, the Quantumanians, are robots he created when he took control in the quantum realm. He wanted to teleport them as well so he could have his army with him while he conquers Earth 616. We'll come back to that. He continues, Kang explains the multiverse engine as something that can take you any place and any time. Kang gets knocked into it, clearly he's not dead, and gets transported somewhere in time. 1901 Wisconsin, perhaps. In the comics, Victor Timely is just a Kang that hides out until he decides to fight the Avengers. What does Victor Timely specialize in? Robotics. Timely rebuilds his robot army in 1901 Wisconsin until he's ready to conquer 616 and kill the rest of his variants in Kang Dynasty. I think Timely's lack of scars could simply make for a dramatic reveal that he isn't the Kang we saw in Quantumania, which may not be revealed until sometime after Loki Season 2. The show will be crucial in the setup for the future of Kang, obviously. Something else, Kang says, when you can see time as I do, it's hard not to skip to the end. He definitely knows the events of Secret Wars and figured he had to enter the multiversal engine this time to speed up the process. He lost on purpose, as he does in the comics. Thus, Kang will be able to conquer Earth 616, as he does in the comic storyline, the Kang Dynasty, a lot sooner and assemble his new perfect battle world. This is an amazingly constructed theory, taken greatly from the comics and combining that next to Victor Timely. In this theory, we hear that Victor Timely is the same Kang from Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, many believe him to be dead or to be defeated, but the idea that him jumping into the time engine didn't kill him, it just put him into the place he needed to be until he could fast forward to Kang Dynasty. That does make perfect sense following the quote and the information we got from Kang, his all-knowing abilities. He should, for the most part, be aware of where in time and what he needs to do in that time in order to win. And that really does bring that phrase, which is re-quoted here by the Twitter user, once you know about how time works, you can figure out how to skip to the end, into full circle. So, the idea that Victor Timely, who is the Kang that was revealed in that second post-credit scene, will eventually be revealed to be the same Kang that we saw in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. This is where we jump to that post-credit scene where we meet Victor Timely. Owen Wilson's Mobius and Loki are both there listening to Victor Timely's speech. Now, in the comics, Victor Timely is a mayor back in the earliest parts of the 1900s, specifically 1901. As we heard from that theory, Victor Timely hides out in this time period, creating a robot army that he will eventually use to rise up against all the other Kangs and take care of business in the Kang Dynasty comics. Now, this is where I find this theory really interesting, and I do hope to some level that this ends up becoming true. Now imagine I'm going to carry on from this point with my own theory coupled next to what the theory we just heard was, that Loki and Mobius approach Victor Timely and say, oh my gosh, we need help. You seem like a good version of your variant. They tell him all about He Who Remains, the Kang struggle, and try to get him to join their side. This might be a theme throughout different groups of the MCU. Let's go find a good Kang to help us fight all of these bad Kangs. Well, Victor Timely, assuming he's the same Kang from Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, might be in some type of exile or continued to be in some need of help. And he'll go ahead and agree with Mobius and Loki that sure, I'll help you, but in actuality, he's going to use this as a pivoting point where he can slingshot himself into complete control. Now we know from the other post-credit scene that the Council of Kangs will also be out looking for blood against the Avengers. And they presume Victor Timely, who we think to be the Kang from Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, to be dead. Now, he was obviously some type of formidable Kang if every Kang from the Council of Kangs wanted him dead, or gone, more than he already was in his exile from the Quantum Realm. But since he's presumed dead, potentially could be teaming up with Mobius and Loki, since they're looking for a Kang. This could be a really, really cool plot point for the future of Loki Season 2, and then eventually we can jump forward to Kang Dynasty, where the rest of the Avengers, Fantastic Four, Guardians of the Galaxy, what's ever left of them after Volume 3, will all be joining together, losing to Kang, and then we'll be jumping into Secret Wars. This truly was, for me, a really awesome and well thought out theory that is using knowledge from the comics to piece together an idea of which will be the Kang. I think eventually in Kang Dynasty we're going to see one Kang come out on top. Now, Victor Timely is a fantastic candidate for that, considering his comic book history. But it would be really cool if Victor Timely ended up being the same Kang from Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, who used his knowledge of time and his ability to end up ultimately back in the multiverse outside of the quantum realm, which isn't technically inside the multiverse, but in between universes, and then ultimately to become that Kang. And by that I mean the top dog Kang. He Who Remains from Loki Season 1 was that Kang, and he actually achieved his mission of getting rid of all of the other universes in order to not have the Kang conundrum. But the Kang conundrum is back thanks to Sylvie, and Loki and Mobius are on the hunt to figure out how to resolve that, and that's what we learned in the post-credit scene of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Who is that Kang? Well, we're going to have to wait to find out, but I do like where this theory is headed, and I think this is a very awesome overall idea. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section and down below. As always, thank you to everybody watching the very end of the video. If you found it helpful, useful, or entertaining, consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell. And I will be seeing all of you guys in the next one right here on Cosmic Culture.
Please subscribe, like this video. Have a great night. See you guys. Bye.